Northern Paiute language. Lesson 28. Numerikan. Numerikan means the foods of the people or the things the Paiutes eat and the places associated with such foods. So the program that we are in, Owens Valley Career Development Center, Mono County, TANF, there's this line over here, these invisible lines in California, that's called Mono County, Crowley Lake, Mono Lake, Bridgeport, Colville. And so, but in the Paiute world, all those lines really don't mean anything. But each certain place had names to recognize it. And so if we were here in what they call the Bridgeport area, the people were called Pogaidika or Pogaidikade, Pogaidikade. And that could be anywhere within this range and even beyond. Like Colville was Onabidikade, anywhere in that range. All on the western slope of the Sierra were the Wiadikade, acorn eaters. And all around the Mono Lake area were the Kudzabidikade, the brine fly larva eaters. And in the south, the Mono Indians and the Owens Valley Indians, we just simply call them Pitanaguat. But sometimes on the western side, they could be called Pamite, or Westerners. And so over here, we have the Odzabidikade, over around Huntoon Valley and Coaldale and up by Mina, Odzabidikade. And then south of Hawthorne or South Walker Lake, we have the Pagwidikade, the fish eaters that extend way out in this territory, Whiskey Flats area, and even over by Aurora. And in this area north of Bridgeport, we have the Pozidadikade, just the clover eaters, all the way from Desert Creek down through Sweetwater. But also sometimes there's reference to a group around Fletcher Basin and the East Walker known as the Waidikade, the grass seed eaters. And then up and going north into Smith and into Urington areas, we have the Tabusidikade, the grass nut eaters. And North Walker Lake is the Agaidikade, and they have a huge territory, stretches way even out even by Gabs, Agaidikade, all Paiute country. And on the outside over here, Paiutes never really honored these boundaries for other people, but there were the Washio that lived out over here by Markleyville. And the reason why we have the lines where the lines are here, because there was a battle or a war with the Washos over here by what they called Double Springs before. And so the Paiutes didn't allow the Washos to come into this part of the area for many, many years. And so that's why that line is there. And even going down here, the Paiutes fought with the whites over here by Donnell Valley. And that's why a line is there. Paiutes fought with the Miwoks over here by Pinecrest, which they call Strawberry Flat, way back in the day. All going down over here, Paiutes fought on the Merced River down here by James Savage and his Miwoks on the Merced River outside of Yosemite, all Paiute country. Paiutes fought with Miwoks over here by Hetch Hetchy. And so they weren't allowed any farther in here. So this is all what we consider Numudipu, our country. Wawa'a is the Miwoks, and the Wa'abich is the Yokuts. Yesh, he is Shu. Says a Poka, the name for Bridgeport. Arrowleaf balsam root. He is Shu. Onabi. That's the name of the people over around Topaz, Antelope Valley. He is Shu. Hosidapi, wild clover, the name of the people around Sweetwater, Desert Creek. He is Shu. We which is the acorns of the black oak, western slope people around Yosemite area. He is Shu. Kudzabi, brine fly larva, the people around Mono Lake. He is Shu. Agai. You could tell the cutthroat trout, they got red under their necks. Agai, people around northern Walker Lake. He is Shu. It's kind of a generic picture, but Ozavi and Paiute. Ozavi, soda salts. Ozavi, the people out in Mina, Coaldale, Huntoon Valley, etc. Tonopah even, Ozavi de Kare. He ishu. Tuipagwe, Tuipagwe, sometimes just called Pagwe, and that's the chub. He ishu. Weva, Weva. He ishu. Tabusi, Tabusi, Nutgrass. So we're talking about a lot of these areas in here, but of course, Paiute country extends way out throughout everywhere else. One guy did a map like this. He forgot a lot of the littler places in between, but extends all the way up. See, Bannock Indians and Paiutes is the same thing. They just got named different things by the whites, but we're all Nima, all Nima territory. Yesh, Ishu, Koyui, Koyui. Yahoo, them reeds, Ishu, Toibe, Toibe, Ishu. Cattails is Saibe, Saibe. Ishu, Kub, Kub. The Indians out around Humboldt River, Lovelock. Ishu, Kamme, Kamme, Kamudika. That's the Indians along the Carson River, Carson City, Dayton. Ishu, Awago, Awago. Ishu, Piug, Piuga, Piuga. Ishu, Parizi, Parizi, wild onion, or a variety of wild onion. Parizi. Ishu, Tunuyu, Tunuyu. It's a variety of biscuit root. A few other kinds, some called Kidapu, another one called Tagu. But this Tunuyu, this one with the yellow flower. These bunches of grass here, these bigger bunches. Wahab, Wahab. Ishu, Yabba, Yabba. Ishu, Mahavita, Mahavita. This is one of the plants the old Paiutes used to replant and irrigate. Ishu, Kiru, Kiru, Kiru. Ishu, Paguts, Paguts. And yes, Paiutes were very familiar with buffalo in the olden days. Tugi. So names of different Nima groups, Kudzavidikare, around the Mona Lake area, Pogaidikare, around the Bridgeport, Sonora area, Onavidikare, Antelope Valley, Topaz area, Wiyadikare, Hetch Hetchy, Yosemite, Kennedy Meadows, all them places. 5, Pozidadikare, the Paiutes along Sweetwater and Desert Creek, Paquidikare, the Paiutes around South Walker Lake, Agaidikare, the Paiutes around North Walker Lake, Tabuzidikare, the Paiutes around Urington, Smith Valley areas, Hamudikare, the Paiutes along the Carson River, Silver Springs, Dayton, Carson City, Toidikare, the Indians around Fallon, Stillwater areas, Goyoidikare, Paiutes around Truckee River, Pyramid Lake, Wadadikare, the Paiutes around Susanville, Honey Lake areas. And there's another Wadadikare way up north, like by Washington or Oregon. 13, Kubadikare, prairie dog eaters, out along the Humboldt River, Humboldt Sink. 14, Kididikare, the Paiutes up around Fort Bidwell, Cedarville, Surprise Valley. 5, Wadikare, grass seed eaters around Fletcher, and around the East Walker in Nevada. 16, Ozavidikare, soda salt eaters around Coaldale, Tonopah, Mina. 17, Parizidikare, Parizi de Kare, the wild onion eaters around the North Truckee River, Donner Lake, Bird Eye areas. 18, Piega de Kare, the caterpillar eaters around Mammoth. 19, Sai de Kare, the cattail eaters. These were around Washoe Lake, Carson City, and sometimes getting close to Reno there along that creek. And yes, the Sai de Kare were also called the enemies of the Paiute out in Northern California. 20, Pagutsu de Kare. Pagutsu de Kare. So the Pagutsu is the buffalo. And so even the Comanche Indians, they were called Pagutsu de Kare, buffalo eaters. So this could be in reference to either Bannocks or also to Comanches. 21, Awagu de Kare, suckerfish eaters along the Long Valley Creek, around the Doyle area, and going into Honey Lake. Goya de Kare, the crawdad eaters up around Goose Lake. 23, Mahabita de Kare, they call that like blue dicks, Mahabita de Kare. And that's the Paiutes around Bridgeport, sometimes called that, Hetch Hetchy, and even around Sweetwater. There's a reference to this Mahabita de Kare. 20, Wahaba de Kare, the grass seed eaters. There's a reference to those around Sweetwater as well, Wahaba de Kare. 25, Tunuyu de Kare, in various Indian bands, could have been up by Sierra Valley. That's going west of Hallelujah Junction. Tunuyu de Kare, biscuit root eaters. 26, Tagu de Kare, that's also biscuit root eaters up by Owaihi. 27, Makuha de Kare, some kind of seed eaters out in central Nevada. 28, Puida de Kare, the greens, the guys that like to eat greens out along the Humboldt River out in Nevada as well. 29, Koa'agai de Kare, the salmon eaters up by Boise, Idaho. 30, the Moa de Kare, that's another type of onion eaters out in Paiute country. 31, Totoi de Kare, that's the black tule eaters around Carson Valley, Genoa, and Carson City. 32, Pitanagwade, the people of the South. 23, Panagwade, or Pami, the people, Paiutes of the West. 34, Sibi Nime, Nimic people or Paiute-related people in the East. 35, Panaki, Panaki, the ones that chase and follow the water, and that's the Bannock Indians. So on the questions to come here, introduce the following pictures, like what they are, whether it's a man, a woman, old man, or old woman, what their name is, and where they are from. And I'll be asking you, Haga Ishu. Haga Ishu. Your answer would be, Ishu Wa'itz, Willi Minanyere, Warare Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Tubizotni, Sali Minanyere, Onabi de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Nana, Mani Minanyere, Hogaire Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Piawabi, Wendy Minanyere, Kuzabi de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Wa'itz, Larry Minanyere, Saide Kare. Saide Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Tse'a, Laura Minanyere, Wiere Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Natse, Wali Minanyere, Hosida de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Twibitz, Lance Minanyere, Kamide Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Suram, Lia Minanyere, Tabuzi de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Mogotni, Sarah Minanyere, Toide Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Tua'a, Sam Minanyere, Kuba de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu Tubizotni, Nancy Minanyere, Goyoy de Kare. Haga Ishu. Ishu nana. Charles mi naniare. Pitana gwadi. Haga ishu. Ishu tubi zotni. Paula mi naniare. Ozabi de kare. Or sohowete. We'll say ozabi de kare. Haga ishu. Ishu puru nana. Mike mi naniare. Giriri kare. Haga ishu. Ishu mogotni. Wanda mi naniare. Tagere kare. Haga ishu. Ishu natse. Mark mi naniare. Urit riba wete. Or piatana wete. Haga ishu. Ishu serum. Jackie mi naniare. Piagade kare. Haga ishu. Ishu nana. Jack mi naniare. Bagutsure kare. Or banaki. Haga ishu. Ishu mogotni. Mali mi naniare. Bagwide kare. Haga ishu. Ishu tsia. Lili mi naniare. Tusigete. Or urino wete. Or possibly parizide kare. Haga ishu. Ishu Clark mi naniare. He could either be, depending on what side of Carson, he could be a toitoide kare. He could be a side kare. Or he could be a kamude kare. Kamude kare would be the eastern side. Toitoide kare would be the southern side. And side kare would be the northern side. Yesh, matno. End of lesson 28.